Good day, everyone. This is our Sunday webinar, as usual, with Dr. Michael Laitman, Michael Sanilevich, Boris Blazerkovsky, Simeon Vinokur, instructors for the World Academy of Kabbalah. And today's topic is the point of life. Why was I born in this world? By the way, this is the first lesson that we will have during our February Congress. We have a lot of connections, 22 translations into 20 languages. Please write us your questions. And so the question is, why was I born in this world? It turns out that there are a lot of theories about why a person is born in this world. Look, what is the point of life? First, and as most people consider, is to love and be loved. Love is the strongest feeling in the world. For its sake, it's worth living. What's your attitude towards this?
Positively.
Aside from that, let's open this up a little bit.
Okay, it fulfills a person for some time.
So a person can be fulfilled with the point of life, eternal.
How can it be eternal? The life ends, and that ends too. Hormones end, and love ends as well. Hormones change, and love changes as well. The object of love changes. Every person has 20 loves such.
This is the greatest pleasure,
so
love?
No, but I give with
power and money.
Oh well, it depends. I love money. I have a love toward money. Somebody hormones toward I don't know, toward music of some sort. I don't know.
By the way, were we talking about love towards the opposite gender? Today it's not so accurate. Love is the strongest feeling.
To put it short, when a person follows his hormonal demand, that's called love. That's not about the external person, but it's about internal demand.
This is a foundational dependency. A person needs to love.
Everything begins and ends inside of a person. Nothing is outside. If something toward the external, I have hormonal spark, then it exists. It can be turned off.
Is this somehow connected via branch and root with Kabbalah, that this is the greatest pleasure, the creator, and in our world, a love towards a certain object, that means that gives me the greatest pleasure?
Well, now, if we take a man and a woman in our world, these things are... We can say, of course, about the upper providence, but it's not related to a spiritual life.
Well, as a cause and consequence.
Yes, as the consequence on our level of our body, yes.
About this topic, there's a question. In Kabbalah, it says that the point of life is to attain the quality of love as the Creator has, like love towards your friend. Is this the point of life?
No, the meaning of life is achieved through love. The meaning of life is that I attain my root, my creator, my maker, and that is achieved through love to neighbor, and from love thy neighbor, the love of the creator is achieved, and that's how I achieve my root, and that is called attainment of meaning of life, the source of my life, the source of my existence, the source of my spiritual existence, of course.
What is love towards the creator? How can I understand it? It's force, it's energy. How can you love a force?
What else do we love besides that? What is called love? Besides fulfillment of my egoistic desire.
One more time. What do you mean to love the Creator?
To love the Creator means that to enjoy that He fulfills you egoistically. Is it clear?
Okay, that's clear. Please tell me, the first love that's given to a person, to think about this object of my love, only when I think about that, isn't there something there
Yeah, of course, that's some kind of hit that's given in our world. The sensation, the first love. All of a sudden, it awakes in you, and you're looking at a woman. You're 11 or 12, and she's about the same. And all of a sudden, you begin to look. You cannot get detached from her. You always walk around and look at her. I remember that on me, although half a century went by since then.
But you have remembered this.
You remember it throughout your life, and after that,
The reason why is this given to a person?
well, because you can say that after a meal, love or sex not in the sense of sexual, but the connection with the opposite sex. That's the strongest of pleasures. First, you need food, and then sex. Of course, without sex, the family wouldn't be possible. So,
Is it the same for women? Do they also fall in love the same as men?
women also fall in love. Why not? Well, it's different with them a little bit because they are attached to a different vision of the world.
Let's continue. The meaning of life, to have children, to give birth, to educate, raise kids, to see your continuation.
Animalistic attitude toward life. I have instincts and awaken in me, and I have to fulfill them, like in birds, like in animals, like in person. In that regard, we're no different from other animals.
So you're being ironic.
I'm not being ironic. I say it absolutely clear. If I say that the animals want children and humans want children too, but with them it's instinctively, and with me it's a little more with all sorts of problems, social things and family traditions and so on. For me, it's a little more difficult to realize than with for animals, but it's a natural tendency, and it's and I'm obligated to fulfill them.
A person is a little bit different, though. He sees that he's advancing. He realized himself.
A little more than animals. Of course, the animals take care of first few months of their offsprings, and then their attachment is go away. It cannot be the meaning of life, the meaning of his existence, maybe. The life, it means that something is above that.
Okay, maybe there's a question about this. Why continuation of yourself through your children cannot be the meaning?
What's the continuation? They will have sons, and the other, and their sons will have sons. What for? So just to exist? I don't see the point. I don't see the. What's the result here?
She's saying it's same written in the Torah. It's a commandment to reproduce.
I don't want to hear Torah. Anybody can twist it around. That's not really proof of anything. We're talking about what we see in our life, in our world, the meaning of existence, not in children, not in family. It fulfills. If it fills you, nature pushes us toward it. All that, yes.
Continuing your words, there's a question. Does a woman have her own picture of the world? So that means her meaning of life is a little different.
A little different. She wants a family. She wants success for her children. She sees her realization in that. With men, it's different.
Another question. In Kabbalah, is there a difference between meaning of life and the point of life, the goal in life?
Well, yes. But it exists, but I wouldn't. The meaning of life is in becoming into adhesion with the Creator, and the goal of life is to bring the whole of humanity to it.
That's pretty. Okay, so we talk about the whole humanity now. So what about this then? To dedicate yourself to the whole world.
So all these protein bodies will exist. They will be born in time. They will live in time. Everything will flow peacefully and everything. Everything is going to be on this animalistic level.
Why is this bad?
I'm not saying it's bad, but just to dedicate yourself to that. If I only care for animalistic existence, then I'm limited to that animalistic existence.
Can we say that since we're egoists and we can dedicate ourselves to educating the whole world?
There are such people that perceive it in such way, but it's all.
I'd like to say that Baal HaSulam, in the very beginning of, he said that regarding the meaning of life, that there's no need to speak about our generation, because this is not a simple question about the meaning of life.
No. Oh, it's not simple but the person needs to understand how he needs to move throughout the light to understand it, and it becomes easier and simple that you need to do everything not to turn away from this path.
I'd like to say that we've studied Kabbalah for a while already, and there was a lesson, the meaning of my life, and I see that there's one quotation that we have discussed an hour and a half. This specific question is so important.
That's the main question. It's the question about the entire humanity, the entire creation. It's a question about everything.
You also mentioned that this impulse from the Creator comes towards this question specifically, which is why we worry about it. All right. Some people say that the meaning of life is to be rich. There are 82% of poor people in the world, and the tiny percent in the world that owns most of the wealth of the world. So these people, this 1%, have a serious meaning of life, to become rich, to own the entire world.
So that's their meaning of life for now, yes.
And at the same time, they are also philanthropists. A lot of them give.
Just in case, for future life, after life
so that while they're dying, they could say,
that is primitive. Let him be, but why not? But when 100% he steals and only 2% gives back, then of course that's not. It's not charity. That's not how it's supposed to be called.
Philanthropists are not necessarily wealthy people. It's what people want in general.
It's so clear, but that's not the meaning of life. After all, to help poor, it is necessary, but to live for it, that means that a person limits himself. He dedicates himself to that because he cannot do anything else, because these are huge problems that he thinks he needs to solve. But the meaning of life cannot be to cover some kind of negative phenomena, because with the disappearance of this phenomena, your meaning of life disappears as well.
Well, what if everyone will become wealthy all of a sudden?
So what do you live for? You need to pray that there are poor
meaning of life
in the world.
Needs to be above our life, something that you can never attain. Same in Kabbalah, yes. The meaning is never attained.
Yes, when you attain, but when you attain, you go outside of the time continuum.
Question: why is the altruistic wisdom of Kabbalah doesn't see the good in regular life? If all that people do is war with each other and destroy each other?
No, of course, the Kabbalah wants the peace in the world, and kind attitudes would fulfill human relationships. But that's not the meaning. That's not the meaning of existence. That the Creator flawed everything, and a person.
The meaning of life cannot be about good in this world.
No, it's also a very limited space. No, no, no.
Okay. There are more questions about the meaning of life. We have a lot of questions about this. Natalia is asking, please tell me, aside from the main goal, are there other goals related to attaining certain qualities of nature?
Why would he draw his attention to some kind of empty things? If I'm a musician and for 13, 14 hours a day I exercise and I play every time, so I play beautifully. Is that the meaning of my life?
Well, maybe to become a great musician.
So what's next?
To develop like this and become a great musician.
What do I achieve after all? My huge egoistical fulfillment. People respect me. I'm known. I earn money. I come. Everybody gets up and applaud.
Not only that, people listen to this and they cry.
Yeah, they cry out of excitement. So what? Everything is beautiful. So what? Is that the meaning? And these people end up on buried, and that's the end of it. What's the meaning? Everything is transient.
How many people
get?
People that have a great desire, Kabbalists, that don't take anything less. We have to attain the Creator to. That's the point of life. That's the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to attain the source from which everything comes, and nothing less. They are, of course.
Well, do you take into account if you would take some kind of scientist that invented some kind of medicals and helped other people, and
so
they died, but they helped other people? Antibiotics.
So what do? They improve animalistic life. Their point of life, their goal of life, is to make it better for certain animals.
No, I understand that the death limits a person's life, but in general,
I don't consider humanity as something holy. If you say what there is, if you tell me that the main thing is the existence of humanity, so then measure meaning of life in relation to that.
No, I'm saying for a regular person, what else exists? There's nothing else, really.
Friends, I don't know how to speak with you. Please decide. Either we're speaking about truth that's above our world, because in our world there's nothing for us to do. We see who we are, how everything ends, and there's no need for us to speak about this, okay? In our world, there is no meaning, and cannot be, because everybody's born, live and die, generation after generation, until this earth is able to contain us. That's it. There's nothing else. So are we going to talk about the meaning of existence of this carbon life on this planet?
You see, I put this page aside. There are a lot of more items here. The meaning of life, to know what is the meaning of life.
Yes, this we can speak about. I wish to attain the meaning of life.
Well, there's one more thing before we completely move it. The dissemination of ideas.
Why? Who is this going to fulfill?
Fulfillment of commandments, some kind of actions, which Creator told us.
The Creator didn't pass anything on to me.
But it's written in books.
I don't know about this. Books write about a lot of things. You can't say it any other way. Kabbalah thinks so.
And what Kabbalists say, isn't it written in books? Or they say to come to adhesion with the Creator.
In this world, in this life, in your life today, you need to attain Him, discover Him, and through that you attain an eternal state of perfection. before dying, not associating yourself with this body. And body remains as a needless part of you.
So there, go and prove, and here
you need to attain very vividly, as you grab something in your hands. This is called the taste of Torah, like a child that puts everything into his mouth and he can determine what something is by the taste. In the same way, we attain the taste of Torah.
Slav from Kiev is asking why the Creator created a protein body on this planet.
No, in order to attain Him, the meaning of life is to attain the Creator, to attain His degree.
So throughout this protein time, you can...
During this time, you can do this. If not, then you'll have to come back to this world.
So this question, how about the Kabbalists that exist for thousands of years, they couldn't deliver this idea that you can attain the Creator in this world and you don't have to buy. Why is such an information is hidden?
It's not concealed. It's not hidden. This information was revealed by Adam 5,578 years ago. Then he revealed it. And since then, Kabbalists know about it. Students of Adam walk upon this path and pass this on to others, but others don't want to hear about it. I have so many, but why? I have so many good things in this world. I have so many pleasant things in this world. There are so many pleasures that I don't want to think about anything else. What do I need to attain? I don't feel momentary need in this, in the Creator right now.
Which pleasures, which fulfillments? What
I'm waiting until this program will end and I'm just going to go to sleep. What are you talking about?
Well, now you told us about the eternal life, about the eternal...
I spoke to many about this. And how did they react? They turned away and continued with their small deeds.
Well, of course, to a person it's difficult to believe these things, so there are no proof.
There is no proof. Reveal it for yourself. The books write about how to reveal the meaning of life. Please go ahead, reveal it. But the book cannot give you anything unless you developed into wanting to reveal. It can't be that you pay here and receive there. Your payment are these desires and intentions that you prepare to feel this meaning of life. You need to prepare yourself for this.
Well, no, in the form of information. I don't say that the person has to take it.
Information. I'll tell you about it, but you gonna want to listen to it.
That's what I'm asking. Maybe that also contains the meaning.
They need to correct themselves first, which is done over thousands of years. For this, we're given 6,000 years. We are finalizing our last 200 years.
People don't give up. Somebody asked, the composer brings the fulfillment to millions of people. Why can't it be a goal in life?
Why should this be the goal? I exist to fulfill another?
Yes. And at the same time, I fulfill myself.
And so two carbon bodies fulfill one another, and then they die, and that's it. There needs to be something endless that cannot be ended, something higher than this life. Attainment that does not end in this world, otherwise there's no meaning. Everything turns to dust.
The cipher, please. What is this to a teaching with the Creator?
When you begin to feel His perfection, endlessness, eternity, and you exist in this constant attainment, constant conscience. It's not our body, it's not our senses, it's not our It's not our nervous system, our mind. It's a completely different system that you need to develop within yourself. It's called love and bestow. An exit out of yourself.
Vladimir from Chicago writes, I receive pleasure when I listen to Bach's music.
But it's not perfection and eternity.
So he's asking what the Kabbalist does to sense the eternality.
For this, he needs to attain the level of the Creator. Only he is eternal. Bach's music is not. What can I tell you? He plays beautifully. Bach is the top of music. He includes within himself everything. I also take pleasure in it, but it's not the meaning of life. We need to understand that our sensations, our needs, let's say, in listening to Bach, these are my small desires, my small sufferings, my small needs. They are fulfilled by these sounds. It's very limited in its volume, measurements, fulfillment of these desires. Whatever you can say, although it's still beautiful.
Maybe the fact that people get fulfilled,
that's how they develop their pleasures and desires, and then what? There cannot be a meaning in constantly desire and constantly fulfill yourself, because one and also another. Eternity means that whatever I attain, it does not leave, does not vanish. It exists and constantly renews itself in its constant renewal of desires. Question.
When it turns to this question, hello, I'm a representative of the last generation. I study for 2 years and I only want to study that, and I spend so much time and I'm not interested in anything else. What to do? How to develop myself? Because to develop I need to find my what I do best. What to do?
One needs to master a profession that will allow him to exist, and the rest of the free time he needs to dedicate to Kabbalah.
So, to cover all these bases, right?
This could be a very peaceful profession, job, maybe a technician, something that wouldn't take a lot of your spiritual strength.
It's also accepted to get married, and you'll have.
This is something I wouldn't recommend for him right now.
It was accepted. Somebody's writing. Dear Michael, where were you before? At least 20 years before, when I was burning to help humanity, and it was my favorite things to do. And I've spent all my youth to do it, and I exited from it completely empty, and I realized that everything is empty, and nothing is interesting, and everything seems routine. And I gather my soul by drop. Where were you before? Will I have enough time to attain the Kabbalah, to correct myself now?
Undoubtedly, you'll be able to do this, regardless of what age, what state you're in, or health-wise. I assure you that you still have this desire from before, and whatever you've done in the past will help you and lift you up in attaining Kabbalah. You'll continue and you'll see that this is so.
So you will get that sensation of youth back.
Yeah, what do you mean youth? Youth is foolishness. This is considered ripeness.
Edward from München. We will correct everything, all this evil that is created. Is that true?
That is correct. I created evil and gave an instruction for its correction. very clear. There's nothing aside from evil. The upper force has created nothing else.
And those are not those corrections that we're talking about. The poor will
no, it's not so.
Will disappear.
It's not so. It's talking generally. It's not so. It's in attracting people towards attaining the meaning of life, towards connection with the Creator. Out of that, they will receive that which will fulfill them and cure them and lift them to this degree.
This positive question: why returning to your root consists this such a great fulfillment?
It fulfills. When we attain contact with the Creator, then we receive this upper light in the form of fulfillment, abundance, in resolution.
Yes, the
resolution of conflicts.
Resolution of conflicts.
And then a person truly does understand that in attaining the Creator, all the answers are there. Hosts, these meanings that you just listed, they also come from the Creator. There's nothing else but Him, right? Why did the Creator give them to us?
Earthly, so that you would step on all of them. You would just and you would move on further up. They're all correct. They're all good, but the meaning of that's the meaning of animalistic existence.
So it's like a negation of the negative.
I have to gradually rise above all these meanings to the true meaning, and it's not only about the meaning that ends on this planet, on this earth. That's not the meaning. If it ends here,
the person needs to do himself. If a person's meaning of life is, let's say, love or certain discoveries.
So what's the meaning? To fulfill your little egoistic desire with your fulfillment?
A person's meaning you can't measure. Can a person change his meaning of life? If he's in a certain state.
If he exists in such a certain state, if he is hooked to that, then it's difficult to about it. It's difficult to.
How many artists have I seen that who had this great desire to become great directors and actors?
It's a huge ego.
They've fallen so hard, have gone through so many tragedies. How much energy they had, and then it turned into nothing. There were so many examples of this. Okay, a question from YouTube.
All the people of art, of science, all of them are in this great sufferings because it's a explosion of the ego in our world.
Please tell me, if there would be no death, then there would not be meaning of life. Then we would not attain the meaning of life.
Oh, that'd be a horrible thing. Imagine if everybody lived forever and they live and they live and they live. There is no end to it. You can't even die. Nobody talks about it. There is no possibility. You can be in Great Depression.
A person would not attain the meaning of life, that there would be no death. You can say this purposefully, yes, that the nature has created this life in order for a person to attain the meaning of life.
So the person would feel the end, and he would feel himself relative to the end. So the meaning of life is above life, where it came from.
Creator could not have created such a reality so that everyone would exist and live good, everyone would be wealthy, like in idealistic movies. Why would it be bad if everybody would exist endlessly? Everybody would be loved.
Yeah, it'd be paradise, animalistic paradise.
Why is this called animalistic?
Well, because animal is the one that doesn't aspire to get to know its root.
Everything still comes from a root that we need to attain.
That's what everything exists for.
That's what I'm asking. Can he make it so that
To limit the existence by the animalistic existence.
I'm amazed that throughout thousands of years of humanity's history, all these love and tragedies and all this drama, everything comes to this one point, one question. What is the meaning of my life?
Yes, to attain the Creator.
Okay. There's another question from YouTube. She's asking. The answer, meaning of life is to attain God, and when I come to God, then that's it?
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's all. Answers to all questions. There's filling to all of your voids.
Would you not want to live 200, 300, 400 years?
In this world?
Yes.
I think, how many people can you find who would agree to it?
If I had such an opportunity to make a pill like this, then the line would go around the world. Everybody would agree to this.
Because they fear death, not because they want to live. Yes, that's a big difference, my friend.
So, a person wants to freeze himself and wake up in 200 years.
How many times a person regrets his life? How many moments do you have when you're satisfied with life? You have a little less suffering and you're happy. Is it called life? What's here to talk about? No. We don't understand yet a clear order. We are in a correct state in relation to the attainment.
So Creator will not give us an opportunity to create such a pill that would extend life.
You want to exit to eternity, and along with that to perfection, you need to rise above your ego. It makes you small.
Question: why do contradictions on the level of our world exist but do not get resolved?
Of course, you cannot solve any of the problems of our world on the same level. You need to rise above to the next level where all these problems come from the spiritual level. And therefore, our world only reveals its impossibility to solve anything.
Okay, well, we're sitting here, thousands of people are listening to us, and you're telling everyone that there's a method, you know it, you have attained it, that during in this period of life, in this life, you can attain the meaning of life. There's no need to die. And people need to, of course, believe you. You can't prove this to them.
I don't believe in anything. I offer a methodology.
Have faith in this method. Yeah, they can check it. Of course, it'll take a few years.
They have to.
Let's say, if I had a pill and I would tell them, I have something that would let you live. I am confident that I would win with this pill.
Can you imagine how much, to what degree, how much unhappy would you make them? They would live forever. What's in it?
People.
Can you imagine? And around them, other people live, and he continues to live. So what's with them next? It's horrible.
That is true. There's a movie called 200-Year-Old Man. There is a robot that lives for 200 years, and everyone else dies around him, and he wants to eventually die himself.
It's not only that, Misha. There's no meaning. He lives in this world, and he understands that it doesn't exist. He wants to find that. What for all these years? He goes through them. Why he exists? And you want to give him thousands more years of that. Can you imagine if he finds you after that? What he would do to you?
The problem is, a person understands this world, but whoever you're talking about, it's hard to attain.
That world exists above our world in all its coordinates, space, time, and All these coordinates only exist in our psychology. When we rise above it, we go around the other space.
How to believe in this?
Very easily. You need to believe it. You need to do whatever it takes to get to that space, because you don't achieve anything. Only days pass by.
Roman is asking, why did the Creator give an opportunity for people to feel each other, to help each other, if there is no upper meaning?
There is upper meaning, so that through these problems that we, whether understand each other or not, we bump into each other, we are more connected in this global world, that we are forced to connect to one singular thing, and there we will reveal the upper force which created us as one person, as one soul.
Question. To give suffering without realization of the source of the suffering lacks meaning. This is constantly given to a person, and he cannot attain the meaning of this.
And that is done by kind
to send problems to a small person in this world, it's a problem that cannot be resolved.
Not only it's insolvable, how is it possible that the Creator, from its perfect state, the good that does good, he does something that the people would suffer in this world? Because there's a very clear answer, because we suffer through our own qualities.
You said that sufferings are given purposefully because it's a means for a person to come to a prayer and reveal the Creator. Without suffering, one cannot reveal the Creator.
Impossible, yes.
That's something that's not clear.
How can you reveal something from good life? You only want to extend this good life, and you want to remain in it as taking drugs, and there's nothing good in it.
So if a person has good life, he cannot reveal anything.
If a person has a good life, let the mother hug him, and he doesn't want anything else. That's it. That's a clear ego.
A Creator is this force that constantly creates discomfort for all of us.
Of course, purposely. And how can you come to something? How can you learn something, do something, achieve something if you don't have this discomfort?
You also need to come to a prayer, to ask of Him.
Of course, if you want to come to it, you need to ask that your qualities would change, your inner tunings. That's what I asked the Creator, to make me more sensitive, to make me more wise, more kind, to connect to other friends, so that I would be able to gather with them into one system, tune myself correctly to that system, to sense myself in that system as one force that creates all of that, so that it would reveal itself among us, and we would be in a connection with you. That's the meaning of life. That's the attainment of life. What is so special? Because from that state, when you attain from the complete opposite state, that's when you can research the Creator. You can really, literally break him down into parts like Naranjai and research them, the lights inside of those 5 levels of spiritual kli,
A few thousand years,
spiritual
was the
vessel.
suffering greater, or people were simply more sensitive?
Are you asking about masses or Kabbalists? Masses suffered maybe more, but felt it less.
So, cavemen were the happiest.
Yeah, cavemen, yes, but today no. The globalization reached everybody. People die of hunger in Africa, but before that, people didn't die. They had everything from the nature. Everything was good.
Question from YouTube. Why are these laws obligatory? There's nowhere I can hide from them. They just act upon me.
I don't think it's so. The upper governance, it's it's necessary, directed to bring us to a spiritual advancement. We just don't understand it correctly. We don't sense the kind attitude of upper force toward through the group. Let's connect with the group and sense him. It's not really that difficult. We just need to step on our ego a little bit. Let's connect among us so that more or less in our gathering, the Creator would reveal himself. We don't need to do anything else besides that. We study that from shattering of Adam, the system called Adam, and now we need to connect the system into one.
When this connection, when you talk about it, you're talking about on the level of the feelings. The question is how to do it.
You already sense how to do it. Try the state when you're in this connection, begin to feel, sense your friends, not just this and that particular friends, not faces. When you desire to annul yourself in order to sense them, and that you desire not to sense them, but the Creator, really. That's all. You need to try to do it all the time to be in this exertion. Is there some kind of expression in this world? We need to do something with our body?
Ralph, you don't really need to do anything.
Georgi asked Yang from Tbilisi, does it depend on the laws, the attainment of the meaning of world? Does it depend on the laws that this world created by?
Of course, yes. We learn about these laws. We learn them out of the unity between us. Unity. That's why we don't need to strive towards big knowledge. We will see this come out of our practice.
The entire human life is the suffering. So, is it the free of suffering to the attainment?
And attainment of the Creator. Attainment of the Creator is accompanied with great joy and sensation of perfection and eternity. We can say these are accompanying sensations.
Can we say that majority of people don't like Kabbalah because it negates all the other meanings of life, but it offers something its own?
Of course, Kabbalah talks about the meaning of life as completely separate from this world, from humanity of today, from the people. It talks about meaning, the upper meaning. But in no way does it, I wouldn't say that it tries to diminish the people and their beliefs, their philosophies, psychologies, the meanings that they relate to this life. It preserves all those things. It just allows people to look at this world from a higher, more global vantage point. It's not enough to be just a small person in this world. We can't just lock ourselves in this timely globe planet and see our realization in this only.
Well, it's always going to be on the side. This planet, this Earth, it's all rests on the ego. The Kabbalah stands very unique statue. How do you want the? It's very special status.
It's not only that; it also says whatever you consider life is illusionary, illusory. It's in your imagination. This life, this planet, space, all of this does not exist. All of this is only in your desire. It's projected in this way into your brain.
Then the next question, who comes to study Kabbalah then?
Kabbalah are those that have attained a certain ripeness, internal ripeness throughout all of their lives, when time has come for them to attain the true meaning of life that is above all of these earthly dealings. They agree to this and understand that it cannot be any other way. He cannot sit on some star or millions of years ago. If I would be doing some sort of, or would aspire to some sort of a fantastic future, these are not within the frameworks of this world. These are not within my aspiration towards this world. It's aspirations towards something above our world.
So you're saying it's not out of curiosity?
Everything starts from curiosity, it's true.
Question from Minsk. I know for sure that the meaning of life to study in this physical body, which is the creation of the Creator, and that's why we need to study Kabbalah. We need to attain the eternal body and the Creator. For that, we need the eternal time. So for those that understand that they can live eternally.
You're a little bit confused. The body in Kabbalah means a desire. Eternal body means a desire that works for bestowal. And in attaining this eternal body, in other words, a desire to bestow, when in this a person becomes similar to the Creator and gets into contact with Him and adhesion with Him, that is the meaning of life, but in no way is within the limits of this world.
Tell us, people that already found the meaning of life, the teachers that see their life in it, or musicians that realize themselves in these things, so that it's good that the person is within these frames.
We don't obligate anybody. You could say that this is his defensive reaction. I'll do something small, it will be comfortable for me and safe, and I'll exist like this. Since I was already born, I'll exist in such a way that I would suffer as least as possible.
It's better not to touch a person if you
I don't deal with such people. Why do I need to ruin his existence?
It's to say that everything comes from the Creator, from one force.
I don't say anything
right?
to him, not even this. All of this comes according to a commandment not to put obstacles before the blind.
So I'll talk to him about the music.
Yeah, whatever possible. I'll always understand him. But until he asks a question about the meaning of life, I don't discuss it with him.
Tell us, maybe you can suggest a person seeks for a meaning of life. It doesn't mean that he will find it, but he wants to. He wants to get lost in that. How to forget about yourself?
How to refuse the meaning of life? I don't think it will help him, because he will be brought to this question eventually. Maybe not in this life, maybe in the next life. Still, everyone will have to ask this question and reveal it.
Oh, meanwhile, well, as you're Kabbalist, you know how to lose yourself because get an injection and get lost, right? Question from Russia. The work against the ego, to learn to love parents, children. Now we say that we need ideological friends. Is that also work with the ego?
The goal justifies the means. Depending on the goal, towards this goal you need to acquire certain strength and create a certain environment in order to attain this goal. If I have a great goal, then in relation to this, I direct everything in my life towards that goal.
Question from Moscow. Why in this world is created by the Creator so many beautiful things? Everything's from the Creator to try these things. Why to go against it?
Well, you shouldn't go against it. When a person wants to attain his meaning in life, nothing else interests him anymore. As it says, a huge fish swallows smaller fish. Which is why, if I'm dealing with attaining the meaning of my life, and I see that he's there, and there's a certain way that I need to attain him with, everything else on my path is just a means to attain it.
It's very interesting. There's so many interesting things, beautiful things. He doesn't need anything, really. He has everything.
No, I still love good music.
So you can combine those things. It's not like all those good tastes taken away from you.
Kabbalists don't remove anything. On the opposite, they acquire more tastes, more desires, aspirations of all kinds. I love to look at the wonders of this world. I love to travel. I love to to view National Geographic Channel. More animals than people. But if I look at people, then primitive people. It's more interesting to look at animals. Certain cultures, usually it's geography.
The sources, Kabbalistic sources, can we find a clear information about what we were talking about today? Can we read in a clear way what's the meaning of life there? Where? Can you tell us where?
I have people that can look up these sources.
Baal HaSulam, right?
Well, there are a lot of sources that talk about the meaning of life. We can place an order for specialists who deals with the sources and ask him to select excerpts about the meaning of life.
So that it wouldn't look like we're inventing here something. Two short announcements. There's one introduction lecture in Moscow. We invite everybody. How to exit matrix. It's going to be on October 6th, February 6th, and also we'll practice the group work in tens. And also we invite everybody to our great Congress, great convention on 20th to 22nd of February. It's going to be here in Tel Aviv, in Ganat Oracha, and there are also going to be mirror congresses in many cities in many groups. There are going to be mirror congresses. And one of the first lessons is going to be what's the meaning of life.
Yes, the first lesson of the Congress will be why and for what purpose do I exist. Today we have opened up this topic Truly, this topic penetrates our entire life. And on the other hand, we need to not just discuss it, but attain it. We probably are not going to do that anymore, but we will act internally how to realize this. In attaining the Creator, the source of our life, there is the meaning of the life itself.
How to attain it.
How to attain it. Yes, Kabbalah is a method of attaining the Creator in this world. Now we need to end.
Yep.
Good day, everyone, until next Sunday. Thank you.